Morty, you gotta, come on. You gotta come with me.
What, Rick? What's going on?
I got a surprise for you,
It's the middle
Morty.
of the night. What are you talking about?
Come on, you got a surprise for you. Come on, hurry up. Gotta go.
Ow,
Gotta go.
ow,
Gotta get out
ow,
of here.
you're tugging
Come
me
on,
too
I got a
hard.
surprise for you, Morty.
Hello, I'm Dr. Thinkalot, and today I'm going to analyze the animated series Rick and Morty. The first series was released in 2013, and since then, the crazy adventures of Grandpa, Professor Rick, and his absent-minded grandson Morty are watched by millions of viewers around the world. During this time around the series has formed an active community of fans who eagerly await the release of new episodes. Rick and Morty competently juggle genres, using the entire arsenal of black humor and sarcasm, while not forgetting to talk about eternal values: family, friendship, and love. Right now, the 8th season of the series is coming out, and we offer to understand what philosophical meanings can be seen in this crazy show.
Let's go. In and out. 20 minutes adventure.
The main idea of Rick and Morty, which runs through the whole series, is the infinite power of science. It seems that nothing is impossible for Rick. With the help of his brilliant mind, he clones people, visits other universes, changes his body, and creates mini-worlds where other mad scientists create tiny worlds. He even turns himself into a cucumber. For Rick, science is the ultimate tool for learning about the world. It is to her he entrusts his life and the lives of his loved ones. The creators of the animated series, while using all the most relevant hypotheses and theories about the cosmos and the physical structure of the universe, from dark matter to the multiverse. What to speak of more understandable things like cloning, artificial intelligence, and the existence of extraterrestrial life. This image of the scientist would not have been possible without the scientific revolution and New Age philosophy. Why? The fact is that before that, the main authority on world order was Christianity. Sacred texts explain how the universe and man appeared and by what laws the world functioned. Everything had a clear beginning and end. But this picture of the world changes in the New Age, when science, in the modern sense of the word, emerges. As a result of the scientific revolution, which stretched from Copernicus to Newton, it was science that began to answer the most important questions.
Are you the devil? A demon? Leprechaun?
Grandpa Rick!
Hey, I'm not judging. Just like to shoot straight. I'm a man of science.
This happened because of changes in the attitude towards God. If earlier he was understood as a person who was constantly watching the world, in the New Age, the concept of deism was formed, according to which God is the creator of the world, but does not participate in the life of his creation. He, like a great watchmaker, has created a completely finished mechanism, and science must cognize all its laws. Because of the vast number of scientific references in Rick and Morty, there are also constant ethical dilemmas associated with advances in scientific knowledge. For example, is a scientist responsible for his discoveries? Can artificial intelligence have freedom and the right to life? How is a clone different from the original, and can it replace it? Rick is an atheist and a nihilist. He denies any religion, and the only authority for him is only reason. However, in a few episodes, he prays to God but immediately renounces it.
Please, God, if there's a help, please be merciful to me. Yes, I did it! There is no God! In your face!
Also, in one episode, Rick destroys the business of a devil who sells items that grant incredible powers, but with certain consequences. Using reason and the power of science, Rick eliminates all the side effects of the devil's magic, effectively discrediting his activities. One feels an echo of Enlightenment philosophy in this. This period is a logical extension of the New Age. It was during the Enlightenment that European culture shed the remnants of mythological and religious thinking based on supernatural ways of explaining the world. It is true that the naive optimism of Enlightenment thinkers is not left with Rick. Instead, we see nihilism, anarchism, and a complete rejection of any values. Although, as we realize over the course of the series, this is more of a pose. While making caustic comments about Morty and other family members, Rick is willing to die for them. Along with the idea of the value of science, the series is imbued with the spirit of postmodernism. Postmodern philosophy is based on the constant use of references and allusions. Postmodernist statement is always fragmentary and does not pretend to wholeness. It is characterized by play, chance, combination, and intertextuality. In Rick and Morty, we constantly see references to our culture, from the titles of the episodes to the visuals and jokes. There are so many of them in the series that devoted fans have produced hour-long reviews that dissect literally every frame. Postmodernism is also evident in the moments when Rick openly mocks conventional values. Postmodern culture is a culture of signs. For example, when they say the word death, in classical culture, they mean the experience of real death. When a postmodernist speaks about death, he speaks only about its image. Therefore, the postmodern man can joke about everything. For him, there is no real reality behind these words. Another example, think of Tarantino's movies. We see liters of blood in them, but this blood is not real. It is fake, literally a sign or image of blood. But in a drama like Saving Private Ryan, the blood is real and it's taken seriously. There is no reality in Ricky and Morty, despite the 1,000 different universes and all the violence this animated series is rich with. It is not taken for real, nor is the mockery of values that Rick allows himself. In a postmodern culture, there are no absolute values, and you can mock even your own grandson. But Rick and Morty wouldn't be a great work if it consisted only of sarcasm. It is, after all, a show about love. Behind all the jokes in Rick and Morty, a real family drama unfolds. If we take our minds off the hurricane humor and action for a second, we will see that the series raises complex and painful topics: loneliness, depression, inability to self-actualize, abusive relationships, death of loved ones, incomplete families, problems of growing up and aging, acceptance of oneself and loved ones as they are. This is only a partial list of topics that somehow arise in the series. At the same time, the characters of Rick and Morty do not try to teach us anything, but show us how we can survive these or those problems. They don't advise us, but share their experience, not always correct or pleasant, but without a contrived sanctimony. Thanks to such honesty and real emotions, Rick and Morty causes deep affection. We too make jokes at times when we want to cry. That's why we understand so well the frantic pace of the humor of this animated series. It helps to distract us from strong feelings, but it does not replace them. Hence one of Rick's most repeated phrases, "Just don't think about it." The mad scientist realized long ago that the world, like our madness, has no inherent meaning, and any attempt to find that meaning will only lead to unnecessary anxiety. How can one not think of the French philosopher Albert Camus, with his idea of the absurd man? This world is devoid of meaning, and he who has realized this finds freedom. It is not always necessary to search for and create complex meanings. There is a lot in the universe that is simply random. Rick and Morty is a true hymn to the absurd. The only paradox is that no matter how nihilistic Rick would like to appear, he is strongly connected to his family. The main line of the animated series is the relationship between Rick and Morty. They are reminiscent of the characters in a classic novel of knavery. It, as well as the animated series, is built on a series of little connected adventures in which the hapless heroes fall into. The novel directly influences Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote, the features of which we find in Rick and Morty. Here, too, there is a protagonist with big plans and ambitions, and with him a naive companion who helps him without even realizing what is going on. I'd also like to briefly mention the problem of the multiverse. In Ricky and Morty, the characters travel to 1,000 other worlds, watch alien TV, and even meet hundreds of 1,000 versions of themselves from other realities. Moreover, halfway through the series, we learn that the main characters may no longer be the same as they were at the beginning. That said, They always return to our reality, no matter what convoluted worlds Rick's teleporting cannon throws them into. No matter how many problems the world has, it is still our world after all. And Rick and Morty remember that. There are also many series dealing with the problem of the creator and his creation. The Mystics, the robots, the inhabitants of the tiny universe. All these creatures reflect on their own meaning in the context of the relationship between the creator and the creature. And the animated series is uncompromising. No one has the meaning of life, and even if there is one, it is better not to recognize it. Otherwise, it will turn out that your whole universe is needed to recharge someone else's car. Rick and Morty is the perfect piece for the new generation. These people have been surrounded by technology since childhood. They perceive the world through gadgets, suffer from depression, anxiety, and stress more than the previous generation, and yet, ironically, joke about it. Note the frantic pace of Rick and Morty. Even when you compare it to similar things like Adventure Time or BoJack Horse, the incredibly fast pace of the series is immediately apparent. Jokes, action, references, irony, and drama are exchanged at machine gun speed. For all the uncompromising nature of Rick and Morty, it doesn't fall into nihilism for nihilism's sake like South Park or Futurama. Behind the multiverse and the shooting, there is an existential crisis and longing. Rick long ago realized the meaninglessness of everything. There is no God and no meaning to life. We are all slaves in one way or another, and all everyday and simple values are an illusion. You can arm yourself with Rick's motto, just don't think about it. But despite his vacuous disregard for everything, he always has a backup plan to save his family.
Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV.